Man, it is cold up in here today.
It's freezing. I don't know how you people up north deal with this stuff.
No, you can have it.
Because it's only, what is it right now?
It was 19 on the way over here, but I think it's probably 20s
It's
now.
31.
Oh, wow, it's a heat wave.
Yeah, take this off. Today we have a 2014 Caprice. It's a lot of unknowns about this. Customer bought it, mostly built. It's got a Brian Tooley Racing Stage 3, the version 1, the original, the OG, old school version 3.
Yep.
And it did what we talk about it doing. We'll talk about in a second. But he came in originally a couple weeks ago and it had long tube headers, but it had a kind of a custom X pipe on it. With
Yeah, I'll put a picture of it. I took a couple here.
Yeah. That'll tell the tale. You'll see what we're talking about. Extremely restrictive. I guess they're really resonators. There's cats, I don't know what was on there, but it's insane. We never seen anything like it. We did a converter in this car, and when we dropped the exhaust, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, you forgot, why did we do that? Remember why we did the converter in this one? Because he didn't know he even needed a converter.
That's right, yeah, so pretty big, pretty good size cam.
Yeah. Converter wasn't locking on the dyno.
Wouldn't lock up. There's some issues. We're like, well, we have one, and so we knocked it out for him. That worked out really well. But we sold him some of the speed engineering headers with the X pipe. He went home, put those on, and we're back today. It was on E85 last time at the end of the day.
Correct.
This time it's on 93 only. He doesn't have E85 accessible close by him, but it's a good thing because we made so much more power. The injectors won't take, the stock injectors are not going to take full E85.
Correct. Yeah, this is the most gain I've seen from an exhaust system.
Yeah.
Even with even going from manifolds to headers, and this was headers to headers.
And we knew last time how low it was. We're like, man, this is way off. We found that with the exhaust. We're like, change this, come back, touch up the tune. You're not going to believe it.
And luckily we had to do the transmission because we would have never noticed it because he thought those were hollowed. Remember, he thought they were shells.
Or they were high flows or something. So
they were no flows.
They were no flow cats.
And we're going to look at these numbers, but also remember on the transmission, they did not put the O-ring on the input shaft, right?
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. So we took the converter off for lockup issues. Chris was adding all the lockup pressure he could. It wouldn't hold. It was trying to, but it would not lock. And once we got the old converter off, we noticed that the O-ring at the end of the input shaft, which is what seals, the fluid comes out the end of the input shaft to engage the clutch in the converter. And without that O-ring, the fluid bypasses past the input shaft. So we noticed that was missing. We keep those here as well. We usually replace them when we do converters just to freshen things up. So that fixed the lockup issue.
Converter's great
and
now.
Gave them a great converter. Thanks,
It's got what, a 3DX now?
Yeah, so it's about a 3200 or so.
Yeah, it's great.
32,
it runs good.
36.
Somewhere, I think they're around that 3600 mark on the 3DX.
So yeah, let's check out the numbers. And again, today is cold, great air. The air is incredible today.
But of course, we're using SAEs.
But we're using correction.
Compensating for the great air.
That's right. So this 333.8, that's what we ended up at last time.
Yeah, so you know something's wrong there.
And it does have, as far as he knows, some form of ported heads.
BTR 3.
They were hand ported, so
yeah,
that can go either way. I'm not talking junk up against hand porting, but some people that aren't porters don't port correctly by hand. The bigger is not always better, kind of.
Correct, and it can also cost you power and things. But anyways, the numbers line up really well for BTR 3 now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
on a 6.0.
For sure, 440. 413 torque. It peaked a little higher. The mass airflow sensor signal Chris pointed out earlier to me was much higher frequency.
Correct. It's seen about RPM. 500 more hertz at the same RPM. So that means the motor is trying to take it in, but it was just not getting it out. So that's crazy. That's probably this is one that sort of surprised us both. And you can see the air fuel dead on. I didn't even touch the timing table. I just dialed in fuel a very little bit, and these numbers, picked up 100. I was even surprised. I was hoping for a little over 400.
Yeah, 440 is awesome. Great numbers.
Yeah, that's great numbers.
And that's being knocked down pretty good because the air is so good today. So to keep things consistent day to day, all year round, you use a correction factor. If you've watched these videos, you've heard us talk about it a million times. But a lot of people don't understand. This is why we say it's just a number. It's a tuning tool. It's not end all be all, because today, if you took this car to the racetrack, we can look in the conditions menu here. and see what's happening. So here's the weather conditions on this. This is today's run.
Wow.
It's 41 right here where the weather station is. It's a little cooler normally where we're standing in front of that fan.
Yeah.
Pressure's pretty high. That's awesome. Humidity's fairly low. It's pulling 8%. That 0.92 means it's chopping 8% out of the uncorrected number. Mm-hmm. Last time it was pulling 6%. Still had a pretty good day. So the uncorrected number is what the drum is seeing from the car today, which is what the road or the racetrack is going to see today. So just to look at how this car would run on a day like today, that's why everybody likes to go to the racetrack on good DA days. That's a 476 to the drum.
And that's the other thing is, if you had a shop that just wants to push out numbers, they would play with all the options, right? Is uncorrected better? Is SAE corrected better?
Yeah, and
is STD?
Look at standard, 456 standard correction, which is a common correction factor that a lot of shops use. We just choose SAE. We have our reasons for that. We feel like they align a little bit better with conditions. Standard conditions are 29.92, 52 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't remember off the top of my head humidity. Y'all can comment that.
I'm sure somebody will post it. But yeah, and that's why we use it. Like you said, we've chosen SAE, so now we're kind of stuck with it because we want to use that for consistency in everybody's build, everybody's dyno, and make sure that everything is very, accurate and repeatable. That's a good thing, repeatable.
For sure.
We even dynoed my car on 2 days, really summer day, cool day, and they corrected really close. And Dusty said, well, they're close correction, then it was probably right because my car uncorrected the other day did 627 or something. I was playing with it.
Yeah, it was almost 630. So we do think, and we do say, we feel like on good air days like we have today, SAE correction is a little aggressive.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what we choose. That's the life we chose.
Yeah, we chose it, and that's just the way it is. I also have some dyno pulls from before and after. I'll put the before ones first so you can hear it. It actually gets quieter through the pulls.
It does.
I didn't post those, of course, because I was like, dude, you're going to come back. We're going to fix it. And then I'll post the after one. Todd got one of those at the end. So you guys will get to see all the differences in how it runs. But drivability, we're going to go cruise around one time. It should be great. But, we're going to go through that here next. We are going to put out the video. I always like seeing the comments when somebody says, yeah, I watched all y'all's videos, and thanks for this and thanks for that, about the BTR version 2 fiasco.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Oh, one thing we do want to point out,
that's a good one.
The difference between, and this is what we've seen, and BTR's done a great job getting to this point, but these cams are great in their time. They keep working, they keep doing research, they keep making things better. And what those version 2 cams do, what we've seen is where you see this peak and start to fall off, the version 2 cams just hold power.
Yeah, they don't see it. That's a pretty significant drop off. Whereas, like you said, if this was one of their version 2s, you would not have that drop off. It would sort of hold that.
So like 440 at 6,300 and 414 at 6,900.
Yeah.
So there's 25 or so horsepower right there.
In less than 400 or 500 RPM, pretty quick.
And you can see that in mile an hour on the racetrack. We were getting out mile an hour by some other people, some other companies, and once they did their research, made those version 2 cams, the mile an hour at the top end came back for us. So,
and I agree, but like you said, we do talk about Brian Tooley a lot, but we do a lot with them, and their cams work great, and we've been with them for, I'm not gonna say day one, but pretty close to it, right?
A long time. I remember BTR, we went to PRI, you might have seen that video, but the first year I went to PRI, they had one little 8-foot table in our side room.
Yeah.
And
now they
keep working.
2 or 3 huge sections.
For
so
sure.
they're great to deal with. But anyways, we'll head this off, and we will do a little short or a video on the BTR cam differences here, hopefully in the next couple of days as well. So we appreciate it.
Thanks for the follow, like, subscribe. Check us out at facebook.com/blazinghighperformance.